there's something called the Hegelian Dialectic. Dialectic is a word for debate by two or more people, coined by, I think, Socrates. But it can also be a debate that's very dangerous, and whereby you can conquer your opponent every time, and impart to that person an ideology or an idea that isn't true, that works for the person who is successful in that debate. But there is a technique in the debate, and an agenda in the debate, an agenda that supersedes all other agendas. So it doesn't matter what country you are in and what kind of language you speak, they will adapt and speak that language. And then, but the principle of converting people in every different country to that one agenda, one world government, is the same. And it works on the same human weakness. Everybody is born in sin. Everybody is born into a culture, therefore they're impure by the very fact of being delivered into the world. And the world grabs them. Therefore you're open. If there's any dissatisfaction in you with your parents, someone come along and says, hey, have some drugs, join a gang. They can appeal to that. You've got to have dissatisfaction. And you can't help but have some dissatisfaction and therefore be a rebel and have conflict and then drink like everybody else, you see, and find friends that reinforce your anger towards your parents, which only complicates the matter. Or you can be a conformist. One could be a rebel and does what I said, and the other one could be a conformist and turn out to be a good Jew or a Christian or whatever, but just a mechanical person. But still be good in a superficial way, but it's better than being bad in a wicked way. If I was coming home and I had to go through an alley, on one side where there's a church and the other side where there's a bar, and a honky-tonk and all women are naked jumping around, then I'd rather, I'd just sooner, that the church empty out first and let me get through before the other one, right? One's better than the other. So I get the point. There's a better culture and there's a worse culture. But I don't think, if you're happy with either side, you can't be saved. You can be content because you think you love God, and you don't. You've loved a culture, and that culture is Catholics, could be Mormons, it could be any culture. Pick one. Baptists, it could be anyone. You are subject to a culture, and not to God. And the head of that culture is the Pope, or as they say in Jewish, the ganze Macher, the big cheese, the head of the church, and therefore he is your mentor. And as a Christian especially, you're not supposed to have a teacher. You can have someone explain things to you, but you don't put them on a pedestal